about to leave, already packing, come with me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're here at Memorial Park here in Colorado Springs, and it's probably one of my favorite time of the years where you can pretty much get a really good photo, and that's the Labor Day liftoff, where hot air balloons are going to be lighting up and glowing against the night sky, and this is the location. So we have this lake, my camera, and they're going to be all over there on the backside, and we're going to catch the reflection in the lower water, which I'm really excited about. Now, shooting at night always comes with its challenges, but these events are pure magic, and it's such an amazing time. You have these giant balloons glowing like lanterns that are going to be reflecting and dancing off of the water, and the crowd of people, or they're going to be all around them. So let me walk you through how I'm going to shoot it. So first, the location we're at, we're right here by the lake, which is perfect because it gives us that reflection of the balloons that adds a second layer. And instead of it just being a balloon floating in the dark, you're going to get colors glowing on the water, which makes the scene even more dynamic and dramatic. Now, my gear settings for my Canon, I'm shooting on my 70-200, so I'm using my telephoto lens because I have to shoot all the way across the lake, and I'm keeping it on a tripod because I want to keep my camera completely still, especially for night photography, because we're going to be shooting at an f-stop of f8 to f11, and for sharpness we're probably going to bump our ISO up to 400-800. We don't need to go higher than that because for shutter speed we're looking at about 2 to 5 seconds. And with that combo, right, depending on how bright the balloons are and stuff like that, if they're doing burn-offs and so on, with, you know, the flames being a torch, you know, I can adjust on the fly as I need, which is really nice. Now, the other thing I always do is I'm going to be bracketing some of my exposures, because the contrast between the glowing balloons and the dark sky, that can be a little tricky, and that's why I can, you know, later I can merge all of the photos to have a, you know, balance between both my highlights and my shadows, and have that perfect balance within my photo. And I mean, one of my favorite shots here is to frame the balloons in the sky, including the water in the foreground, and the reflection makes the photo feel twice as big as the colors come alive in a way that you really just cannot fake it. And, you know, a safety tip too, this place gets crowded, so you need to be mindful of people walking around you, and if you're setting up along a lake, make sure your tripod is sturdy and stable. I always, before I do anything when I'm with water, I always make sure my tripod is level, and if it is level, I will then take a little weight and I'll put it on the bottom of my tripod to kind of pull it down so it doesn't tip easily, because you don't want your, you know, camera equipment to go fishing. I've done that. My very first camera was a Rebel T7, and I was shooting a waterfall doing a long exposure, and this was way back when I was learning and just getting started with photography, and I had a cheap tripod, and long story short, it ended up falling over. I lost my camera, I lost everything. Eventually I was able to find the camera, but of course it was so waterlogged at this point that there was nothing I could do. But thankfully, me being a little proactive, I knew my camera was not weather sealed, but I made sure to get waterproof SD cards, and thankfully I had those, and so I was actually able to recover all of the photos and still have those. So, you know, it's a simple plan. You know, we're using the lake for reflection. We're shooting at f8 to f11, and our ISO is going to be between 400 to 800, shooting at 2 to 5 seconds of exposure, and we're going to be bracketing for the tricky light. And events like this remind me why I love photography. You're not just capturing balloons, you're capturing a community celebrating and, you know, light against the night, and it's one of those shots where every frame feels alive. I can't wait to share these final shots with you, so stick around to the end of this video to see the results. And if you ever get the chance to come by Colorado Springs Labor Day liftoff, bring your camera. You won't regret it. I'll see you in my next video.
The world in action. distractions. We'll get away. This is what we wait